Check your privilege, a term I've been hearing more and more each year. The first time I encountered this concept was in a social justice class in high school, where the teacher made us stand in a line out in the hallway and told us to walk to one side of the lockers if we were white and the other side if you were not. She then told us that the white side of the lockers were privileged and the other side were basically victims. This process then branched out into several different categories, whether you were a man or a woman, gay or straight, an immigrant or Canadian at birth, and we were all labeled. Now, I couldn't quite put my finger on what bothered me so much about this at the time, but looking back, I think it was the fact that the labels being given to people and their situation in the real world had such a disparity. Since then, I've heard the idea of privilege checking perpetuated more and more frequently. It is generally a term used to silence others' opinions, to compensate for a weak argument. If someone disagrees with a social justice warrior and is white or straight, they will likely be told to educate themselves or to check their privilege. It's an attack on an individual's characteristics instead of their argument. It's not dissimilar from saying, "You're white, therefore your argument is invalid." In fact, based on the definition of racism, the belief that each race possesses specific characteristics or qualities specific to that race that make them superior or inferior to other races, it would appear as though assuming someone is privileged or disadvantaged based on their skin color is in fact racist. Now, the phrase was created and primarily used by liberal fringe feminist bloggers, but recently has grown into an alarmingly widespread and toxic idea that has taken root in universities and is being planted in the minds of young kids from a very young age. Check your privilege is the idea that there is no meritocracy in life, and that your outcome is predetermined by your gender, skin color, religion, sexuality, or wealth. And that the only way we can fix this inequality is to level the playing field by giving the government more power to create more affirmative action and more quotas based on gender, sexuality, and race. This is a crazy thing to teach a society because it truly perpetuates the idea that certain groups are more capable than others at achieving things due to an invisible patriarchy or our society's supposed inherent sexism or homophobia. Despite popular belief, white males are not simply handed a white privilege card and patriarchy card that gives them access to any career or lifestyle they want. There is choice involved. This goes for supposed non-privileged groups as well. Women, LGBTQ, racial minorities, they are not held by ball and chain from succeeding and achieving in life. There are plenty of opportunities for every individual. And hard work will achieve amazing things, regardless of your skin color, sexuality, gender, or social status. The sexist, racist, homophobic narrative has been blown out of proportion and sensationalized, and everybody knows it. And the individuals who are truly being hurt by this privileged and non-privileged narrative are the individuals being taught they're victims from birth, whether it be through media or through schooling. Kids are being raised in a society where we are labeling people victims and privileged people. It is a self-fulfilling prophecy, what psychologists would call the labeling theory. By calling people victims, we are imposing a victim mentality on them. Why try to succeed if you have been told failure is inevitable due to your skin color? And why participate in a society you have been told is inherently sexist and homophobic? It is extremely sad to see groups of very capable and creative people waiting on a paycheck from the government because they've been taught that their attempts at achieving would be totally useless in this society. And this narrative of privilege checking is destroying the idea of individuality and totally ignores the fact that everyone has their own story and their own situation. It encourages people to make assumptions based on outward appearance. Martin Luther King's dream was that there would be a nation where we are not judged by the color of our skin, but instead by the content of our character. Not a nation where kids are forced to take privilege tests in schools, telling them how guilty or victimized they should feel based on their skin color, or how likely or unlikely they will be to succeed based on their sexuality or gender. We need to remember we are all individuals, and people of every color, gender, sexuality, religion, all have a different walk in life. So no, I will not check my privilege, nor will I ask anyone else to, because I don't know their story, and it likely isn't skin deep.